Hello and welcome to Explain 11 and this brand new series I'm putting together on real life procedures used in Explain 11. So this is the first episode. I actually recorded all these episodes before the first aircraft and I realized I did something wrong. I used the wrong airplane manual, so I'm re-recording it. But you won't know anything about that. Well, you do know because I just said it, but still. So we are here at Heringsdorf Airport, Germany, and if we turn around, we're gonna look at this beauty, the Diamond DA-42 Twin Star. And this model is from Arabesque. It's real beauty. Comes with a few different liveries. Not a lot of liveries downloadable, but still, this is kind of nice. So this series is about using procedures and information which are freely available. The link will be in the description for this one. The manual we'll use. I'll divide these into several episodes on each aircraft type. Sorry about that. First we'll do an episode on limitations. Sorry, I got something in my sort of throat there. First episode will be on operation limitations. Then we'll do an episode on normal operations. Then we'll do an episode on abnormal operations, and then we'll do an episode on emergency procedures. So the first one will be kind of short. The next one on the normal procedures will be fairly long, but I guess that's a walk around and all the procedures from startup to shutdown. And then the abnormal procedures will be semi-long, and the emergency operations procedures will be kind of long too. So, but first a disclaimer: I'm not a pilot. I'm not a CFI. I'm not actually. I used to be a licensed skydiver, but you have to keep that up every year, and I haven't done that for a few years. So I'm not a licensed skydiver anymore. Might take that up again sometime when the kids get bigger. But I'm not a pilot. This is no way replacing the proper training or proper reading of manuals and proper instructions from a proper pilot. I'm just a flight simmer and a flight sim nerd, so take this as it is. Don't use it for anything unless it's flight simming and having fun. And that's key, have fun. So first I will talk a little about this model, the Arabesque DA-42 for Explain 11. It's a pretty cool model. Flies beautifully and has quite a lot of fuse systems simulated, but there is a few differences from the manual I'm using, and that is it doesn't have the gear extension thing, which is down here. Emergency gear extension doesn't work, and the manual I use have two fuel pumps which are located here, and it's not simulated here, and the alternative air source which should be here isn't there either. Otherwise, most other things are here. A few things you can do. You can close the window, but in the real plane you can actually crack it up a little bit. We can simulate using these, but so otherwise there's quite a lot, and there's also some procedural differences when it comes to using the ECU over here when testing that, but we'll come to that. Anyway, this first chapter will be on the operating limitations. So I'm gonna pretty much read from the book. I'm reading from the airplane flight manual, which is part, there's a link in the description so you can find that if you want to read it. So the DA-42 is a twin-engined aircraft and 4 seats. If we first look at the airspeeds, operator maneuver speed is, if it weighs more than 1800 kilos, it's 122 knots indicated. and if it weighs between 1700 and 1800 kilos, it's 119 knots indicated, and up to 1700 kilos, it's 1112 knots indicated. So above that, do not make full or abrupt control surface movement. So smooth, always smooth. But above that, you'll have to make sure you don't do abrupt movements. Max flap extension speed. There are two sets here. If you say it's up, approach, and landing, and this model says approach 137 knots and landing 111 knots here on the dashboard. If I look at the model, I think this is actually most resembling. I mean, the thing is, the Airbus model seems to be a pick between different models, versions of the Airbus DA-42. I could be wrong there, but that's from reading all the manuals, that's what I find. So I had an older, the DA-42 L360 engines, and that had these approach speeds. The manual I'm using, which suits the rest of the cockpit much better, because the other one had like prop settings and mixture control. This doesn't have that. This has a FADEC, like a engine control system. The model information I have, or the landing, the max flap extension speeds are 1113 knots for landing and 133 knots for approach. So slightly different from the ones that are in here. If you want to use these, probably more correct for the model in X-Plane. But yeah, so the differences between checklists and different. That's because of the different airflight manuals, different variants of this aircraft. So max landing gear extension speed in the L360 model, it's 194, but here in this version, which I'm working on, this AFM, max extension landing gear extension speed is 188 knots. So 188 knots, which is also the max speed, basically structural speed. Max OB&E never exceed that speed in smooth air, 188 and 194 on the L360. So max landing gear operating speed is 188 to extend. It's 152 to retract. On the L360, that's 194 to extend and 156 to retract. So there's slight differences here. But I will go for this, which is 188 to extend and 152 to retract. Max landing gear extension speed is 188. Minimum control speed on approach is 68 knots with approach flap set, and with the up flap it's 71 knots, so that's good to remember. Control speed. Max structural cruising speed is 151 knots. And you can exceed that, of course, because it runs much faster. We'll have in smooth air, but if it's turbulent, you need to reduce below 151. In the L360 model, it's 155. So, if we look here at the markings on this one, see the white arc is the operating range with full flaps extended, so that goes up to here. 1111. It should be 1113 if it's within this checklist. This AFM in green arc is the normal operating range. So here we can above the yellow, that's in smooth air only. So power plant limitations, max 2300 RPM. Engine power is 100%. Oh, I'll show you that. Start it up so you can see that. So here is a percent load, so you can set this max 100. Max continuous power, so 100, that's maximum 5 minutes, and then 92 is max continuous mode. So typically climb power. Oil pressure Minimum is 0.9 bar, maximum is 2.5 bar. If you at 1500 RPM, maximum total is 6.5 bar. Normal range is between 2.5 bar and 6 bar, so that's the green range here. Oil quantity is 5 liters. Could fit, minimum is 5 liters, maximum is 7 liters. Oil consumption of 0.1 per liter per hour. Oil temperature range, which you'll find here. Minimum minus 30 degrees, maximum 140 degrees centigrade. Normal range is 50 to 135, so there we should be in there. And then be a gearbox temperature, which will just go. We want to use coolant temperature. Minimum startup is minus 30 here. Maximum at startup is minus 30. Minimum at full load is 60, and maximum is 105. Fuel temperature, minimum minus 30, maximum 60 degrees. Fuel pressure, minimum 4 bar, so fuel pressure is, go here actually, engine, fuel. No systems. Fuel pressure, where is it? The oil pressure, out of fuel, temp, fuel. I thought we had fuel pressure somewhere. Oh, here it is. I think this is fuel pressure. Cool, that's oil. That should be oil pressure. So minimum 4 bar, 7 bar is maximum. Voltage, we'll go into systems. Here's voltage. System volts are minimum 24.1, maximum 32 volts. We'll have a little red line there. So, and that's in between. So below 24.1 volts, you can't start engines. Good to know. So that's more about the oil stuff, gearbox oil, coolant, and then so engine instrument markings. We'll go with that. Look at RPM first, which is here. So the red arc, there's no red arc at below lower limit. Green arc is up to 2300, which is not true. So there's a slight difference between this manual and the other manual. Actually, I'm gonna check something. Gonna see if it could be another set of manuals. Rating limitations. Go. So this is, I mean, I'm not exactly sure which he has used, which the author used. So if you look at no other version of the manual, that makes more sense. So if RPM is up to 2100 is the green arc, so like 2100 probably looks good. Yellow arc is 21 to 2300. There's no yellow arc there actually, so that makes no sense. And then above 2300, which makes it a red arc. So oil pressure, red arc below 150. Let's see here. Yellow arc 150 to 2.5 bar. To normal range, green arc is 2.5 to 6 bar. So that's there. That's basically it's just a list. You can look at it in your manual. Fuel temp, ammeters, everything. So the reason why you can see the fuel here is that it's off the chart, so you can see it there. So warnings, and there were a lot of warning stuff which we'll go through, which will come up here. we're opening is the one that's active now, and we'll go through those as we'll do with abnormal and emergency procedures. Weights. So minimum flight mass is 1450 kilos. Maximum takeoff mass is 1900 kilos. Maximum takeoff mass, if you is certified by a certain procedure, and then it's 1999. Maximum zero fuel mass is 1765. So, so different. You can certify it's different or in different weights, I guess. Maximum load in nose compartment is 30 kilos. Maximum load in the cabin baggage compartment is 45 kilos. Maximum load in the baggage extension behind the cabin is 18 kilos. Maximum load cabin baggage compartment baggage is 45 kilos. So that's basically the weights. Center of gravity, we won't go through that. It's just a bunch of numbers. Approved maneuvers. All normal flight maneuvers, stalling with the exception of dynamic stalling, and lazy aids, channels, channelies, as well as steep turns and similar maneuvers in which an angle bank of not more than 60 degrees is attained. So caution, aerobatic, spinning and flight maneuvers with more than 60 degrees of bank are not permitted in normal category. Stalling with asymmetric power and or one engine inoperative is not permitted. Intentional ATG maneuvers are not permitted. So you can pull up to 3.8 Gs without any flaps, and 2.0 Gs with the flap or in approach or landing position. Let's see what else. Maximum operating altitude is 18,000 feet. Minimum crew is 1 person. Maximum number of occupants is 4 persons. So this is the aircraft is approved daytime flights in VFR, night flight with appropriate equipment, night flights in VFR, with appropriate equipment, flights according to instrument flight rules (IFR). Takeoff and landing on paved surfaces, takeoff and landings on grass surfaces, and flights into known forecast thunderstorms are prohibited. And then we have a minimal equipment list, which is different, but it depends on what sort of flights you're gonna do. Battery charge, taking off a night VFR or IFR with an empty battery is not permitted. So emergency switch. IFR flights are not permitted when the seal on the emergency switch is broken. Door locking device. The canopy and passenger must not be blocked by key lock during operation of the plane. So, and then you can't use electrical equipment. And there's some autopilot limitations, which will, well, autopilot maximum max speed 180 knots, autopilot minimum max speed 90 knots. So that's good to remember, 90 knots for the autopilot GPUs. And you altitude select captures below 1200 feet AGL is prohibited. So about 1200 and 90 knots. So the autopilot must be disengaged below 200 feet AGL during approach, below 200 feet AGL during departure, below 800 feet in AGL in all other phases of flight during single engine operation. So that's good. Smoking in an airplane is not permitted. Ground operation takeoff and landing has been demonstrated in paved hard surfaces, asphalt, concrete, etc., and grass runways. So that was the normal procedures. So I'm gonna go with this slightly old version of the EFM. It seems to be more seems to fit this model version more. So just to repeat, airspeeds. So slightly different in this one. That's why I'm repeating them. Up to 1700 kilos, 112 is operating maneuver speed. Above 700 up to 1800, 119. Above 1800, 122. BFE, or max flaps extension speed. Landing, approach flaps is 133. Extensions to landing is 113. This is not correct with the airbags. Go with these, I think. Max landing gear operation speed is 188 extension and 152 retraction. Minimum control speed with flaps up is 76 knots. With flaps in approach is 73 knots. So I'm just repeating these numbers because it's slightly different because I changed from them on the manual. Max structural cruising speed is 151. Do not exceed except in smooth air. And never exceed speed in smooth air is, or the VNE is 188 knots. Which is also the gear extension speed. So that's good. You can slow down with just putting gears up out there. So that was the operation limitations section of this tutorial, this way of going. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm also trying to learn this as a flight simulator pilot, and it makes it much easier to learn these things. And the reason why that is because I used to be a teacher for about 5 years, it's quite some time ago, but I used to be a teacher, and one things about learning stuff is if you teach it gets stuck in your own brain. So teaching is a very good way of learning stuff. So I'm doing these as a way to, mostly for myself to learn, but maybe you'll learn something else. I'm going to stick to this AFM from now on. So all the stuff should be in this AFM. Hopefully it will be applicable to an Airbus version of the explained model. So next time we'll go through normal procedures, which is a really long episode because there's a walk around and all the other stuff in each step of the flight. So I hope to see you then. I'm Andy, and if you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, leave a comment or share. Hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.